sweetest feeling for Rotherham United.
Wood's got round the back, and Richie Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you all for being with us tonight to talk about Rotherham United scoring 7 goals. 7. In the olden days, they used to spell that out on the video printer. That's how rare it happens. We're going to talk about all the goals in the game, which may take us the full hour, to be honest, which is a good thing because there's nothing else to talk about because there's no game this weekend. But we're going to enjoy Vertu Trohpy against Salford. I don't care. We're going to enjoy scoring 7 goals. No, you're not going to take that away from us. Mick, you are the only one of us that's seen this happen before, although you probably don't remember. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate, yeah. I'm all right. Are you?
Very good. Well, you know, cold aside, we'll soldier through.
Yeah.
Danny's back. How's it going, Danny?
Very well. Thank you, lads. No one expected that, did they?
No, not on 8 minutes or whatever it were. And Tom is back. How's it going, Tom?
Yeah, very good, very good. It's the old school tonight.
Yeah, absolutely is. We have people as usual is with us as is Stevie Mick and Bazza. Stephen Adams says Noswith Da. Cheryl Stone is with us. Evening all. Well, we didn't see that coming. She says Steve is with us as is Paula Rhodes. Paula says evening. Not by the way to spend a cold Tuesday night in Salford, even though they ran out of Bovril before kickoff, which is a bit of a disgrace.
There are only 70 people there.
I know. Steve Mixley came very close to going to it, but it was just a little bit too tight after finishing work, so made for watching it on the telly. I regretted that at first. Darren Cook says evening all magnificent 7. Harris says 7-2. No, it's not England's cricket. It's Rotherham United. So I think it was England's cricket as well earlier today. Yeah, Mick, talk to me about scoring 7. You've certainly seen. Should have been around for the one in the mid 90s. The one in the 50s, maybe. Hartlepool in the 90s.
Oh, right. I seem to remember us beating Crew 7 something as well. 7-2, 7-1, I don't know. I might have been 8-1. Can't remember.
There was an 8 against Crew.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. And we've done it without any, and I say this advisedly, without any actual recognised strikers on the pitch.
Senior strikers.
Yeah, I mean, I, with greatest respect to Josh Ayres, you know, he's not a recognised striker at the moment. He's a academy lad who's coming through the ranks. So, yeah, pretty impressive, wasn't it? Result wise,
just a bit. The club put out that we did win 8-1 against Crewe in 1973, and then we beat Hartlepool 7-0 in 1994. I assume both those were cup competitions, because those are the kind of things we all take super seriously.
I remember that Crewe game. Now you've mentioned it. It was it away?
I think so.
It must have been, because I was in the front room of my next door neighbour when I lived in Greensborough. Saw it come through on teleprinter.
Did they spell it out?
Yes, they did.
Explain to me, because there's a lot of people listening now that won't understand really what a video printer is and the spelling out of things. Just explain why and what happened with that, because it was the thing when I was a kid.
It was when you were a kid. I would have thought the actual video printer would have been a video one. This was like a typewriter. This was literally like a typewriter on the bottom of the screen, and you could see the keys going up and down. I think, if I remember rightly, actually typing the stuff out on grandstand on a Saturday afternoon. There you go.
Anything above 6, they used to spell out in actual words, didn't they?
Yes.
Actual letters. Yeah. Why? Just to really rub it in that you conceded more than 6 goals, really. Childish, but I quite like it. Scott Kent says we beat the Blade 7 away in 1956. The club said it first happened against Crewe, so we'll let you argue with the club on that one, Scott. But yeah, Danny, what did you make of the? Well, first time you've seen it. First time I've seen it. It's still the first time you've seen it happen.
Yeah, and I thought we were an absolute dreamland when we beat Donny 6-0 in this competition a few years ago. It was like, bloody hell, we've scored 6. But no, I saw the scores coming in 39 desserts at Cineworld because me and Gabby had just gone to go and see Nuremberg. And it's like, oh, Rotherham have pulled it round in the first half, winning 3-2. That's good. And they just kept ticking over and ticking over and ticking over. And it's like, it's 7. But no, I did looking into it as well. And the last time we won 7-2, I think it was 7-2, might have been 7-3, was Sheffield United away in 56. That's the last time we did it in league football. So yeah, it's just a shame that it's happened in the AFL Trophy and not many people are asked about it. Because yeah, it's not our biggest winning margin of recent times, which I believe is still Doncaster. But it's the achievement of it with how spread thin our squad is. You know, I was saying this on radio with Sheffield. Like I say, we didn't have a recognised centre forward that was in the first team, but we've still put 7 past them because we've just worked hard as a team and got the job done. It's just a shame that we conceded 2 goals, but I'm sure we'll talk about those in a second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. But no, I'm just really happy because it shows that the hard work is paying off, you know, and we're not just a hard team to beat anymore. We're a hard team to keep out ourselves. And I said on radio, Chef, imagine if we had a fit team. Imagine if this was in the league and we had like Nombe or Hugel starting or whatever. You know, if we had a fully fit starting 11, that score line probably won't happen in the league, but will certainly tonk somebody. I mean, look at Lincoln, put 3 past him easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Does anybody know when the last time there were 8 or more goals in a Rotherham game scored between the two sides? We've had a few 7s. Like we beat Cardiff 5-2, and I think we had a 4-3 loss against Ipswich. When was the last time there were 8 or more?
Potential. I'm gonna have to take a punt on the year, but there was a year we lost 5-4 against Morecambe.
That was the
and that was in the EFL Cup, I think.
Yeah, that's right. There was
I can't remember the year though. I'm gonna take a punt on it and say 2017.
I think I went to that.
Did you?
I think so. Yeah. I think I was stopping at Centre Parks at the time at Cumbria. Okay. I thought, oh, it's not far to Morecambe. I was wrong. It is.
You were wrong. That is correct, Danny. But it's not correct because that was after extra time.
Ooh.
So inside the 90 minutes, there was obviously 8 goals, more than 8 goals. Is what I'm looking for. Does anybody want to go above Morecambe to within 90 minutes?
No.
No. We were definitely at this game as well, Nick. Wolves.
Oh, of course, yeah.
6-4.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's just technically not true because at least 3 of their goals were offside. So,
yeah,
I think you'll find
that's fair. That's
4-4, wasn't it?
6-4. We brought it back to 4-4. We were 4-1 down, I think.
Yeah.
Still probably the craziest game I've ever seen, to be honest, that Wolves game. It was just insane. When Joe Scars is pinging in a right foot volley at back post, you know the game's absolutely gone.
Was that when Dicko scored a hat-trick? And Agard.
Yeah. 2 hat-tricks in the game. Mills Exo also points out the Cheltenham 6-4 as well, which would have been the last time at home. There were 9 over 8 goals.
If we were to get down to 7, it'd be beating Bolton's kids when they nearly went into administration because we beat them 6-1 at home.
We've had a few. We beat Cardiff 5-2 in Championship, lost to Ipswich 4-3. There was a couple more I found after that as well. That's why I was hoping we scored more, so this stat would be it'd create conversation as it has done. Maybe not interesting conversation, but conversation.
You're padding this out, aren't you? You really are padding this out.
We've got to get a full hour out talking about the Vertu Trohpy. Thank God there were 9 goals because I don't know how on earth we'd have got an hour out of this otherwise. We'll go with Scott Kent. Do we give Raggett praise for Salford's first goal? It's a quality setup. When this went in, Tom, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be one of those nights, isn't it? We don't really care about Vertu Trohpy, but geez. Tom Holmes kind of doesn't do great with the tackle beforehand. Sean Raggett sees that and goes, "Hang on a minute, hold my beer," and sets up an open goal for Syria.
Yeah.
Just a terrible bit of play.
Yeah, it's a genuine setup. I mean, I agree. I think Holmes could have done better, but I mean, he did as much as he could, and then you hope that your mate bails you out, and he did the opposite. He just made it ever worse. You know, it was better if Holmes would have just left it. Again, I mean, I want to pass over to Mick at some point because he loves talking about Sean Raggett, but his legs have just gone, and it wasn't even the fact that he was too slow or whatever. Like he just can't. His right foot's his left foot, and his left foot's his right foot. He just can't get it right. There was no real tactical strategy behind why he did what he did. He just sort of, it wasn't a clearance. It wasn't a like trying to put the ball out. It just sort of, it was one of the worst little sliding flicks to his to their striker that I've ever seen. And then they said on commentary that that's the lad's first ever goal. So they don't really get easier than that, than Sean Raggett setting you up. It's just appalling. And he didn't have the best of games after that neither. Neither did Holmes. So it's a bit ropey, but I kind of want to hear what Mick has to say about this more than what I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what they were trying to do. He didn't trust Can, so he's tried to clear it. And basically his body, it's like his legs let him down almost. He just couldn't get what he wanted to get on it. And it's just bad.
I mean, you're being kind of a man. I don't know. I didn't even know what he was trying to do.
No. I think he was trying to outside of his foot for a corner, I think.
I don't know. I mean, look, I don't really, it's not fair to be insulting towards him or anything like that. I'm not convinced he didn't get his foot caught in turf, to be honest with you. I might give him that one. Otherwise, it was a beautiful setup. It was an absolute fantastic layoff. He took goalkeeper completely out of that game. Beautiful. I worry about Sean Raggett. I genuinely do. He's been a good player in his time. He's been a quality player, particularly at this level. But I think I'm not convinced that he's going to come back to anywhere near the levels that he's been at previously in his career. To be honest with you, I think he's got to accept some blame for the second goal as well, because that was his man that scored. So, but that was just, it was awful. You know, if you're going to put it out for a corner, put it into back of stand. Don't just side foot it out. It was bizarre. So I suspect maybe he has lost his balance or something. I don't know, but I think his time is up. Quite frankly, I'm sorry, but I think that's just how it appears to me, anyway.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, Danny? We've all watched the goal back. Do you put it down to decision making where he's half panicked and he's tried to get something on it and he's done badly, or is it a case of you think he's tried to clear it, maybe got his foot caught in the ground, or he put his leg down, or whatever? Which camp do you come down on? Put on it.
I'm putting it down to just not playing enough football, but that's. Well, I'm not going to say it's his fault because he's been injured, but at the same time, you look at the players who came on at half time. You know, they were ready, they knew all the jobs, and they got on with it, and we kept a clean sheet in the second half. But you could tell that Raggett and Thomas Holmes hadn't been playing very often. But Holmes sort of made a better account of himself, I think. Because I think he was A, trying to show that he was ready to go, but also B, was kind of having an eye on Raggett as well, and he was trying to cover him and tried a bit too hard. But you know, a player of Raggett's experience needs to be able to sort his feet out in those situations. And he didn't. I mean, I'm in the same camp as Mick. I don't know what he was trying to do. You know, he's facing the goal, which is
what we'll never know. What is it?
It's hanging.
Well, there we go. Hello, I'm back. But no, he's facing the goal, which is a bit. Oh, hang on. And then a player of his experience as well needs to know to trust the goalkeeper. Like, all right, yeah, fair enough. And Ted Can's our backup goalkeeper, and he's still quite young. but you still have to have that trust in your goalkeeper. But he's not had that. Tried to get rid of the ball, I assume, and he's ended up playing in their player. And it's like, it's just baffled me, if I'm being honest. I just don't know what he's trying to do. We'll talk about the second goal in a minute because I think Raggett's also involved with that one. But the first goal, it does have the argument of, is he unlucky with his feet? Does he not expecting it? Just bounces off him. There are arguments for and against with it. But I don't know, it's weird. It's weird that it's just Raggett with these goals. You know what I mean? It's a bit,
Yeah, it's not the first time this season he's gotten his feet in a muddle and given them an open goal. So
this is what I've said all along about him, and I feel like we're digging him out, and I guess we are to a degree. But even when he gets the ball at his feet, when he's not under any pressure, it appears outwardly that he has to concentrate even just to play a pass. He has to look down at his feet to see where the ball is. If you watch him, even when he's not under pressure, he gets the ball at his feet, and before he passes it, he looks to see where the ball is. I don't know whether it's a lack of confidence, a lack of match practice. I don't know what it is, but he does not look comfortable anywhere near the ball other than heading it. No. If it's in the air, he's number one in team. No problem about that whatsoever. But anywhere else, he seems to be struggling, and I don't know whether it's lack of fitness, like Danny and Thomas said there, lack of match sharpness. I don't think it's either of those things, frankly. I just think it's time, like I said. Sorry.
We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this in about 2 minnets. Longer than that, because Josh Ayres deserves a bit to talk about. But we'll come back to this for the second goal. And then the good thing, after we talk about the second goal for them, it's all downhill from there, isn't it? It's all positive. So let's get this out of the way. We then equalise pretty shortly after Tom. Josh Ayres, he takes full advantage of another really bad bit of defending, to be honest with you. Salford make an absolute mess of it. But Josh Ayres keeps his composure, stays calm, and that is an absolutely belting finish.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really see it from behind, but it's got whip and enough pace on it to go in the net. But I mean, his first touch put him in a bit of trouble. But as you say, it was poor defending. I mean, you just back off him, and I mean, I didn't know he had it in his locker. I don't know if anyone did. No, he looks a bit more of a poacher to me, but if you can pull out finishes like that, then he'll do all right. But from the reaction of him as well, none of them celebrated. They all knew that it was a less than optimal start. So I mean, that first half was funny because I think they had 11 shots and we had 3, and our 3 went in, and I think we had 1 touch in the box, which was a goal. So safe to say that first half was not the best, but I mean 3 cracking finishes, like 3 very, very good finishes. And I mean, Ayres is still 19 and looked very raw, but some of his touches and hold up were fine. He's a big lad. He'll end up winning stuff in the air, and he can finish. So as a striker, I think he's got a lot of promise, but he needs to play regular men's football now because he's proof that he can do it. So I'd send him out to a similar level as McGuckin and see what he can do for the rest of the season because he's a very capable striker.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's 2 different goals. I mean, if you count the one against Oldham that got wrongly disallowed, it's 3 different types of goals that he's scoring. He's kind of ticking all the boxes that you want from a striker. And I agree with Tommy, just needs to go play against some big blokes for a couple of months and like Hamish Douglas has done. Go play in some horrible games, and I'm sure he'll come back a much, much better player. But he's kind of ticking everything. And that goal on Tuesday was another kind of tick of a different kind of finish that he's got.
I thought you were talking Danny. Sorry. Look, he has the potential, doesn't he? And he is 19, so you can't expect too much of him at this stage. And you're right. Maybe he needs to go out and play some more men's football. He does lack a lot of pace, is what it feels like. And I guess at 6 foot 13, he's not gonna be exactly Sam Numbe, is he? No. But it's noticeable his lack of pace. So he's got a lot of developing to do. But, if he can finish like he has been doing, there's definitely something in there. I question whether or not this is the level. We'll have to wait and see. But you can't really tell at this age, can you? You just can't. He's got more growing to do almost. Maybe he might have finished that. I don't know. But because of his size, it's going to be. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not that tall, so I don't know. But I'm sure it's difficult to manoeuvre a body that size at any sort of pace. So it's promising, and they all are. The young lads that have the young lads that have featured in this tournament, all of them have got some real quality about them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Douglas got his first start in this competition. It went very, very badly for him against Oldham, but it's turned it around and not done too bad since then. Tom Kay says could be a decent strike if they're sprinting him. He just doesn't look mobile enough. To be fair, Danny, you don't need that mobility. Look at John Hugel. John Hugel's made a career out of not being able to run. So that's not going to stop him. But what it does mean is he has got to build up. Well, it's not, is it? He's made a great career. He's made a fortune out of just being a proper target man kind of player. He's obviously more than that. But he's still he's a good example, Danny, that Hugel to Ayres is a good example that you don't need to be number. You don't need to run the channels to be a proper striker. You work on your hold-up play. You can score different kind of goals. You can do this, that, the other. I think Hugel is a really, really, really good example to Ayres.
We lost it.
There we go.
I'm here. It lagged. Excuse me. No, I agree. Hugel is a prime example of that sort of player. But I think with Ayres, it'll just come with experience. His positioning, knowing when to move into those positions. Because, like I say, with Hugel, I mean, it's not necessarily a career out of not running. But Hugel has had a very intelligent positioning career where, the big centre forwards aren't the most mobile. They're not wingers. They're not running strikers. They are the big men to get in the middle of everything and score goals. And as it does have that body type, he just needs to work on his game intelligence, his game management, and like I said, positioning, like when to make the move, when to hold back, when to hold it up, when to run. That comes with experience. You aren't born with that ability unless you are like a superhuman footballer. But if you're born with the ability, you're not in Rotherham's academy. You know what I mean? At least not at 19, you wouldn't be. You'd be up and away. But no, it'll just come with experience. And like Tom said earlier, he needs to go out and play men's football and, in lack of a better term, get roughed up a little bit. It happened with Hamish Douglas, and he's arguably a first-team centre-half now with how he's been playing. And with Josh Ayres, unfortunately, strikers are judged on scoring goals and not the other work that they do. But there is a player in him. We've seen that with the quality of his strike and how he's come back from, I forget the team that it was against, but where he came on and then came off because he basically did nothing. So he's improved on that no end. And I just hope it works out for him, because we've seen what's happened with Kayode, where it's just not worked at all for him injury-wise. But no, with Ayres, he does have a career in front of him, and hopefully it is with Rotherham United, because he could develop into a great player. But we're seeing that with all the academy products that both started and have played for us this season. They're all up for it. And I think that's half of the battle. You have to be willing to step up in these situations. And the academy players we've got, they've all stepped up. They're all in the mix. I wouldn't say they're a million miles away from first team. You can tell they're still young lads, don't get me wrong. But they've stepped up when they've had to. And that's the sign of A, good development, but also B, good coaching.
Yeah, I agree. What I will say about Josh Ayres, he's been out on loan a couple of times, so he's obviously willing to go and play these games. He's obviously wants to develop and play these games. So hopefully the next loan will be a decent loan for him, whenever that may be, and hopefully bags loads. Then we go 2-1 up, Tom. Shortly after that, James Clark. Was it James Clark? I've got the right Clark, haven't I? Yeah. James Clark with a really, really good finish, but probably an even better build-up play. A little interchange on the other side of the box where Benson and Martha kind of linked up really, really nice. There was what cut it all open. and then a hell of a rifled finish from Clark.
Yeah. I mean, I felt from a little bit in the game because he played out on wing back, which I don't know a lot about him, but I don't think he's a wing back. I think he's a centre midfielder, isn't he? So he's playing out of position already in a sort of, in a system that maybe heavily relies on your wing backs being wing backs. But I thought he did what he needed to do. And he looked a really neat player. He looked like he could carry the ball. And then that weaker foot finish is like outrageous. Just absolutely fired it in. So clean. Technique was great. You can't really ask for more. It was a good pullback from Holmes, I think. Just a very, very good team goal. But again, it's that sort of Benson, Martha pulling the strings. Benson in particular had an absolutely outrageous game, but obviously. But I mean, it's just we look a lot more confident around the edge of the box now with the sort of players that we had. But yeah, having said that, you've got to be there, and as I said, he's playing out of position at wing back, but as a wing back, you've got to be back post. I mean, you expect Denzel Hall to be there and popping up with a goal, so it's excellent that he was, and absolutely outrageous finish from a man who is, by all means, a centre midfielder who doesn't really score goals, but sort of sets them up. So really good. Impressed by him throughout the game. He didn't, wasn't the most lively of performances, but I think he did a job out of position that he was asked to do. So you got to praise him for that.
Yeah, I think he's right, Mick. I think he's right there, Mick. I don't think we've certainly not seen the best of Clark yet, by any means, because it's not necessarily impacted the game outside the goal. But that'll do his confidence. Now, whenever he's next in the team, he's got that goal on his belt or whatever phrase you want to use from it. It'll just make you feel like part of the team almost. I would have thought.
Yeah, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you? And it's really important for players like him. I like the look of him. He looks like he's going to be a decent player. Like I said earlier on, much like all of the academy lads that have come through, they've all clearly got something to offer. And he's in and around the first team quite a lot now. Even if it's just on the bench. So it's a great finish. It's great positioning. In the right place, right time, and it was almost Denzel Hall-esque, the finish. So I like the look of him. I really do. I like the look of them all. I'll be honest. The least out to the ones that featured on Tuesday night, Josh Ayres probably is the sort of one who I least expect to progress within this team. And I'm not doing. I don't mean to be disrespectful for that, and I hope he proves me wrong because he can clearly finish. But the others just appear to me to have a little bit more. But that might just be because they've got a bit of pace. But I like the look of James a lot. It's not James. James is his first name, isn't it?
Yeah, you were close.
Yeah. Well, mix on first name.
I'm on first name James with him all now. Yeah.
Would anybody like to take anything off Clark by saying that the keeper should be doing better, or should we save the keeper criticism for the third?
I think the keeper gets a hand to it, but I think it's a hand. I think the strike is so clean that I think the keeper would struggle to fully palm it out. I think you'd be doing I think you're doing a keeper a massive disservice there if you're saying because he got a hand on it, he should save it. Because fair enough, he got a hand on it. Maybe you can tip it onto the post or whatever, but he wasn't the best keeper at the best of times. No, whatever. He was isn't he the Wrexham? Used to be the Wrexham star.
Mark Howard. Is it Mark Howard?
Yeah. But he used to be on the old covers of the document anyway. But it was. I think it was. I think it was just a good strike that the keeper kind of can't really save it. I mean, he pushed it into the net, so I think can't really push it out. The best he could have hoped for was flicking it round the post, and he didn't. So I don't think you really give him. Don't. we'll not do a disservice.
Fair enough. Mark Howard, by the way, is the keeper that had the podcast where they interviewed Cam Dawson. We talked about this last year. And he remembers that conversation. I don't know if he still has a podcast or not. But I don't think he's very popular with Salford fans. Let's put it that way. Then it goes 2-2, Danny. The one that got away, Cole Stockton, equalises, whatever it was, half an hour in, whatever it was. It was a crazy first half, and we got to second half yet. A mess. It's a tidy finish. It's a kind of a classic Cole Stockton finish. He's in the right place at the right time, and it's nice and tidy. Fine. Jack Holmes has done really, really badly there to lose the ball in the wide area. He's then not been followed by anybody, and Stockton's kind of ghosted in. It's just a bit of a mess.
Yeah, and that's putting it a little bit politely as well. For me, with Jack Holmes, they've both sort of gone for the ball at the same time, and there's an argument to say it's the bounce of the ball and it just gets away from him. But when that happens, you need to immediately go into the mindset of, right, I need to recover this now. Don't matter that I've lost it, I need to get it back. And that doesn't happen. And then the ball gets whipped into the box and Sean Raggett just wanders off from his man. And his man was Cole Stockton. The whole reason Stockton's in that area is because Raggett's just left him on his own. That's the whole reason he picks up the ball. And yeah, it is a good finish. It's what we expect from Cole Stockton. The one that got away, yeah, we'll leave that where it is. I mean, the IOFC said it was like a fever dream. We scored 7 and Cole Stockton somehow scored as well. And yeah, it's just game intelligence from Raggett. Maybe it's because he's rusty, but a player of that experience shouldn't be rusty. It should just be number one rule. I'm marking the one person that was in the starting 11 for Salford last time because he's one of their most important players. And he just gives him 3 yards of space, and that's all he needs, and he's scored. All right, maybe Ted Camp can do a little bit better, but it's so neatly tucked in the corner. A lot of goalkeepers wouldn't save that at all. So yeah, it's just a mess. It's a mess of a goal, but defensively, it was a mess of a first half. To be honest, from both teams. But for ours, with it being an experienced centre half, I don't know, kind of expect more from it. Potentially, just expect a little bit more. Knowing what your job is. I think that's the best way to word it. And he doesn't, and he gives him enough space, and he scores. And thankfully, it is in the cup competition, because if that were in the league, he'd get absolutely slaughtered for it.
Yeah. Are you going to slaughter him, Mick? Because as bad as the first goal was, this is more normal defending. The first one you can argue this, that, and the other because of one thing or other. This is kind of, what your job is. You know what Cole Stockton is. Where are you? Yeah,
not good enough. And then, to be fair, I would argue that Thomas Holmes has got a part to play in this as well, for allowing that cross to come in.
Yep.
I was very disappointed in Thomas Holmes Tuesday. Thought he had a really poor game, really poor. And I hope that's not a sign of things to come. I hope that's just coming back from being injured and everything else. But I wasn't massively impressed with him at all. But yeah, it's schoolboy defending, I'm afraid, from a player of Sean Raggett's experience, to let a player of Cole Stockton's experience get away from you in the box like that is just, it's not good enough. It isn't, whichever way you look at it. Again, no, it's not good enough. I was going to say let's talk about match fitness and match sharpness and everything else, but if that's a league game, I expect the same thing to happen. I wouldn't, it wouldn't surprise me if he started on Wednesday night against Blackpool. If he were to, I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing happen. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in him.
Yeah, I am as well, Tom. And the defensive unit on Tuesday was a massive concern. Now, to be fair to Douglas, Douglas is playing away from where he has played. He got caught a couple of times on that right-hand side. As a defensive unit, it was nowhere near the levels we were expecting. And it's a good job we were as relentless as we were in the second half, because Salford just didn't get a kick. But if they would have got a kick and would have built some pressure up, they could have hurt us like they did in the first half.
No, because we had Rafferty and James there who have somehow taken those positions for themselves. That back three, and someone mentioned it in the comments, is one of the rigid, most sort of immobile back threes we could have possibly put out. And that's Nothing against any of them, but if you put all three of them together, I mean, that's what you expect. And Steve said it there. You know, Salford cut through so easily in the wide areas, in particular. That Longlow, I don't know, whoever the right winger was having an absolute field there. He just blitzed past Holmes, Jack Holmes, who isn't a defender, and absolutely had no response for him. And then was stood up with Thomas Holmes, who, look, he can head it, and he's got a decent passing range, and on the floor looks fine, but pace wise, he's as slow as Raggett, and he got absolutely blitzed on the outside every time as well. So I think we've learned one thing from that game, and that's neither of them three can play in that sort of wide centre half role. And that's just what, you know, that's sort of what you learn as a manager and as a coach. I reckon he just tried it, didn't work at all, had to change it at halftime with Rafferty and James coming on. But look, I mean, we have a plethora of centre halves now, it feels like. I think Agbear could do a job in that wide position. Jules definitely could. Baptiste has been doing. So them three playing together, I don't think is going to be a cause for concern in the future, because we tried it, failed massively, not going to happen again. And if it does have to happen, then you've got the likes of Rafferty and James that can come in and do as good a job there out of position. Well, I think Rafferty's more or less in position now, so to say. So, yeah, I'm extremely, it was a failed experiment, I think, and definitely one of those you sort of learn now that you can't have three rigid centre halves in that sort of system, and you need wing backs that can get up and down as well. And again, nothing against Jack Holmes, but he's put in a position where he can't defend, and he literally can't defend. So he's put in a position where he has to defend, and he got exposed time and time again. So felt for Jack Holmes a little bit more. But yeah, the other three, Douglas had a better second half. Sorry, but the other two, as bad as they were, they're not getting helped out by one another. So yeah,
I think we're spending a lot of time on this when in reality, from a league point of view, and arguably from this cup competition point of view, it shouldn't make too much of a difference in the near future, injuries permitting, because like you say, we've got Zach Jules coming back, we've got Baptiste coming back, we've got Agbear coming back. You know, that's your starting back three. That's without the young lad in there as well, Hamish Douglas. So, you know, I think it might be a bit of a moot point ultimately, this.
The point is, I think that the point that Tom's making here in the comments, all three of the starting defenders need to be in the middle of a back three, more mobile centre sides. This is not a conversation for today, by the way, because we've got loads of stuff to talk about. But all three of those need to play in the same position, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
I'd argue Raggett's the odd one out, because he seems to suit a back four more, and he needs the centre half next to him. I definitely agree with Thomas Holmes. He's definitely in the middle of a back three. Because I reckon if he had Rafferty and James or Baptiste or Agbear or whoever, he'd be fine. But because he was exposed on the left-hand side, that's why he had a poor game. But Raggett kind of doesn't suit any of that, which I feel sorry for him for. But if you ever go to a back four, we've got Raggett, and he can jump into that position, no problem.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll see. Like I said, all downhill from here, all good stuff. First of all, please do make sure you've subscribed if you haven't done so already. I think we're 37 away from 2,000 subscribers, which is not really. It'd be nice. We want to get there. Remember, you can see Tom singing drunk in a taxi at 2:30 on a Friday on a Saturday night. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe.
The reason why it was a funny video to send was because the taxi driver was singing with me, but I've watched back the videos and you can't hear him at all. So
the taxi driver
now it's just
you can just do you really
video.
close to your phone singing really loudly. I love it. It's brilliant. I love it.
I want to know if the taxi driver was actually singing as well, or Tom just drunkenly imagined it.
No, it was. Tom dropped me off. This is maybe not a great conversation on the podcast, but Tom dropped me off on the way, and the taxi driver was going for it big time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He was loving it. It was great. It was really awesome.
So if anyone wants to see that, subscribe and you'll get it at 2,000 subscribers. As long as we get it before Christmas. If it's not before Christmas, then it'll have to stay on my phone until I get really bored and post it by accident. Moving on. Also, by the way, changing the schedule. We're not here on Sunday. We're going to be back on Monday. The reason for that is hopefully there'll be some actual news, a press conference on Monday where we can talk about team news going. If we come on Sunday, there'll be nothing to talk about. So we're going to change it for Monday for a one-off. Although I'm sure during the Christmas period it will get changed as well. Right. Third goal for Rotherham of the half. Tom, fifth goal of the night. Josh Benson with another free kick. Decent free kick. Does the keeper deserve a bit of criticism for this one?
I think it's exactly the same as the Northampton free kick, where it's you look at it and you think, keeper could have saved it, but actually you look at it back and you think only a top end, a top keeper is saving that. And as we've discussed already, Salford's keeper isn't a top goalkeeper, so I think you kind of just gotta give it down more to the technique and the fact that he's done that twice in as many free kicks, and the other one hit the bar. So he's it's starting to feel like it's as good as a penalty, a Benson free kick from just outside the area. But yeah, it was again great technique. But he was good beside all the goals. He was fantastic all game. So fully deserved it. But I think only a top keeper sort of saves them. But it's nice. It's nice either way.
Yeah. I want to add into this. First of all, I thought the referee had a fantastic game again. Darren Drysdale is one of my favourite referees, and that was a brilliant bit of advantage pulling back for non-advantage as well. I thought he just did it brilliantly. I'm such a fan of Darren Drysdale. But anyway, in terms of the free kick and technique, I think I do agree with Tom. It's exactly like Northampton one, and it does something which I think a lot of top professionals at the top level can learn from. You see people like Ronaldo just trying to nail it. Just get it in the right area with a good amount of pace. Doesn't have to be top bins. Just get in the right area with the right bit of pace and you'll score 50% of those free kicks. And that's all Benson did against Northampton that way. Just right area, decent bit of pace. If keeper saves it, good luck in it, and he didn't again.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not top bins, is it? Positioning wise, it's sort of halfway up the goal. But yeah, he's got it up on over the wall, and the keeper's positioning again, like with the Northampton one. He's too far to the other side. If you can see what's going to happen. You can see who's going to take the free kick, and you know where he's going to go. But it's great technique, and like you said, get it over the wall, and if it's in that area, you're going to score a lot of them. Just keep it on target. So, and that's all he's done, and that feels like it's kind of taking away from the quality of the strike, and it's a great strike. It's a great strike. With 3-2 up at half time and 3 absolute peaches of goals. And the performance didn't warrant any of those goals, quite frankly, from either team. No. So listen, Josh Benson had a poor game on Saturday. He struggled. He couldn't get into the game. He couldn't get any rhythm, and he completely the opposite on Tuesday night. So hopefully that's kind of got him into the swing of it, into the rhythm of it, and we'll see a better performance in league from him.
Is this where we take credit for criticising on Sunday for the hat-trick on Tuesday? Can we take credit for that, do you think?
Not really. I mean, you can try if you want, mate, but
not yet.
I think that's
do it twice. Do it 2 more times, and if it happens, then we'll give you credit.
It's a proper straw clutching exercise, that, mate.
Yeah.
You underestimate how influential this podcast is, I think, mate.
If the next time he scores, he lifts up his shirt and it's got our logo on it, then we'll say it's us that's done it.
It just says New York Talk who with that 5 question marks.
Exactly.
Expect it. I don't expect it, Josh. If we get a hat trick next week, that's what we expect. 5 goals, Danny, and we're now on to the 6th goal of the game and the goal of the game, and the goal that will probably win goal of the season. Josh Benson from whatever it was, 45 yards. At an angle as well. It wasn't kind of straight on. He's got a bit of an angle as well. But as much as the first goal shows his kind of technique and his ability, the second one shows his vision and ability to spot the keeper off his line. And did it even bounce before it went in? It was just sweet as a nut.
It basically went all the way. I put a tweet out saying it's ambitious but brilliant. Alex Ravel will be proud of that. Argument to be made, it's slightly better because it's off the floor and it's not actually in the air before it's the dipping strike. Who knows? But I like how Paul Davis likened it to David Beckham, the goal against Wimbledon, I think it was. It scored from halfway line. Yeah, David Beckham got a bollocking for that off Alex Ferguson because he said, we don't do that round here. I want to encourage Josh Benson to keep doing those things because he's obviously got the confidence, like you said, the vision, but also the knowledge that it will be straight as an arrow when he hits it. Because if you watch the highlights back, he only looks briefly. It's just a little look up and then he hits it and it's in. Mark Howard's way out of his goal, so why not? And it's arguably going to be goal of the season in the Vertu Trohpy, regardless of what's happened in Doncaster against Chesterfield. Don't look at that one, that Billy Sharp scored. Yeah, don't look at the Billy Sharp goal for Doncaster. Look at Josh Benson. Josh Benson deserves it. But it's we'll talk about his third goal in a second, but it's the most unorthodox hat trick that I think I've seen in a football game because it's a free kick, a dipping strike from 40 yards, and a header in the 6-yard box. We talk about the perfect hat trick, and we have another award called the unorthodox hat trick because I think Josh Benson's just won it. But it's the fact that the move starts on the edge of our 18-yard box. It would break forward really quickly, and I don't know which player it is, but they're screaming for the ball in the middle of the park, and Benson just hits it, and brilliant goal. It's just a shame that the away end wasn't packed out because imagine if it were a packed away end. Goodness me! And I think it was the same date as the famous Solihull clawback as well.
Okay.
I believe it is, yeah. And that had a great strike in it as well. Not quite Josh Benson, but yeah, I'd say maybe our goal of the season in all competitions so far.
I'll tell you what. You mentioned the Beckham goal against Wimbledon. I would argue this is a better goal. This is better technique. The Beckham one, he almost took it as a free kick. He wasn't under any pressure. He rolls it forward with his foot and takes it as a free kick. This is taken on the run at an angle from almost the same distance. For me, it's a better finish, a better technique than that one. Obviously, I'll never hear about that, but. It's a better goal. I'd argue I agree with that. It's a better goal.
Yeah, they're not seeing better. Is it the furthest out we've ever scored?
No.
Is that a question or do you have the answer?
I don't have the answer to this one.
Well,
it must be, right?
I mean, Alfie scored from halfway line, didn't he? But it was disallowed, weren't it?
Disallowed, sadly, yeah.
So maybe it is. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Is it relevant? I know you like that kind of stuff, Matt, but
talking about a game of football where 22 blokes kick a ball. Is anything relevant in these conversations?
I clearly touched a nerve.
Got a fish on the line there, mate.
Yeah.
If anybody knows, let us know. Because it's the furthest one, Mick's right, the Alfie one should have stood, and that's still the best goal we've ever scored. But it was wrongly disallowed. If you have a further out goal than that, let us know. I think it's the first I've ever seen. I'm
with you on that one, mate. It's the first one I can remember.
He's
touching.
Did he? I can't remember that.
Don't know.
Can't remember that. Interesting.
Darren Cook says that, so everybody else back up Darren Cook if you can, if he's correct.
Yes, Darren's right.
Okay.
Took some convincing.
5-2 Tom. Paula Rhodes says great cross from Kelly for the header for his hat trick. Just again, this is all 5 goals, 6 and 7 are a bit different because of defending, but the first 5 are just really, really good goals for their own different way. They're all different goals and very, very good in different ways. And Josh Benson showing all the tricks of his trade that Danny says he can score all different types of goals all within the same game.
Yeah, late run into the box, and it was a beautiful delivery from Kelly, which is bizarre, isn't it? Because if you know Denzel Hall and Martha could put in balls like that, then we'd be perfect, wouldn't we? It was outrageous ball. I don't know why he's there in the first place, but and you sort of have to be there at the right place at the right time, and Benson he was just absolutely unmarked within 2 meters of the keeper. And as soon as it flew over the defender's head, you just thought immediately that it was that it was going in. And again, I think keeper got a hand to it. So it's another one where the skeptics are going to blame the keeper, but too much power on it again. And yeah, excellent goal.
Yeah, Mark Howard's going to be kicking himself, isn't he?
I think he saved 6 of our 7 goals. I think he got a hand to 6 of our 7.
Yeah, he did. That's true.
Genuinely, because the goal one, the Gardner one, Benson's free kick, Benson's header,
Clark's one.
That's 5.
But did he get one on Ayres? Not sure.
Ayres and the one, the halfway line.
Yeah, so 5 out of 7 he got something on.
Yeah.
I'd argue those 5 as well are the ones that have been hit so cleanly that they are hard to save as well, because the pace they must have been hit with. Either that or Mark Howard needs to do some wrist exercises at home to strengthen his wrists up.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the right Mick, that header is unstoppable. It's kind of straight at the keeper, but it's above his head in the air. Other than luck, there's no way the keeper's saving that.
No, it'd have been a great save if he managed to palm that over. It's too close, too much power, too close. Can't put any blame on keeper for that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
it's a really good header, really good cross, really good move. Again, we'll talk about let's talk about the others, because the next ones were exactly the same in terms of the quality of the build-up. For me, anyway.
Yes, Dango with the 6th. This was the benefit of what happened on the night, Danny, was that Dango didn't have to be used too much. Denzel Hall, I don't think was used at all. And we were able to rest so many players because of kind of how the second half went. But Go did get his moments. Paula Rhodes says they were sat near Go's family again. They were ecstatic when he scored, as they should be, because it's an absolutely belting finish. He's just got, do you know what? I'm just going to smash this. And he smashed it, and he smashed it very well.
Yeah, no, he has definitely. Question marks over the defending for Salford, I think. But when we're at 5-2 at this point. Eds will have gone down straight away, and they've just gone, well, sod it. Especially their number 3. He were having a stroll towards end of game, wasn't he? And a few people, when I watched back the extended highlights, the commentator thought he'd been flagged for offside, obviously because she was watching it on a screen and not the actual in the stadium. And it's like, no, he's onside. You can see he's bang on the line, and as soon as the ball gets past, he's gone. And Salford's defence just didn't react quick enough. He's through, and you saw the thought process in his head, didn't you? Like, he just took that extra second and just went, sod it, and he smacked it. And I believe that's his first senior goal in football as well. So, fantastic moment for him. And now I hope he applies that to league football, because we can see he's got it in him. There's been times where he's hit it, he's gone close, it's been saved or blocked or whatever. But now that he's got that, I can actually do this in him. We might be seeing some more long-range efforts from Dango, and we might be a bit more keen to shoot on the edge of the penalty area rather than tapping it about, which is great. But now, all credit to Dango. He's off the mark now. Fair play to him.
Yeah. Harry says in his goal gif on Twitter, he's kissed the badge. He's confirmed his thing.
Yeah.
Don't break our hearts now, Dan. Do not break our hearts now. We've seen that.
Yeah, whatever Man United want from him in January, we'll negotiate it down and then say maybe.
We'll start a GoFundMe page to buy Dango. It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? Tom Mick says that we shouldn't take anything away from the last 2 goals, but surely we've got to take some away because of the defense. The finish is the finish, that's fine, but the defending was sort of the Salford had stopped, haven't they?
Yeah, it was pathetic, like genuinely quite pathetic. Yeah, I mean, it was for goal. I mean, it was it the last 2 or the last 3? Just the last 2, where Gore through the mid. I mean, they lost the ball, and then it was just one ball through the middle to Gore, who messed up the control, took another 4 touches, and then scored all on the edge of their box. And again, like, the finish wasn't spectacular. He just absolutely hammered it. Yeah, it wasn't good by any means. And then the last one was a bit better. I think Gardner's movement was quite nice, finding a space in between, and Yearwood's ball over the top was lovely. Really nice clip ball over the top, and that's. But again, I think he had a lot of time to think about where he was going to go and how he was going to strike the ball. So it's another one where you'll be more upset. But the Dangor one is the one that's inexcusable from a Salford perspective. But they both had to score. It's not just they were 1-on-1. You can see a lot of players missing 1-on-1s nowadays. So it was you still have to score. And they did. They both did. And I was ecstatic for that Gardner, and so was Hamish Douglas, who came sprinting from centre half to lift him in the air, which was really nice. So seems like he seemed like he was a nice player, Gardner. I can't remember his first Dean. He was a nice player. Had a bit of pace about him, held the ball up really well. Other times when he could have done better, but first game, apart from that Swindon game, so not too bad at all from him.
It was good against Swindon, to be fair. Really good against Swindon. Only 10 minutes or whatever it were, but there's definitely something in there with him, 100%.
Yeah. Is he younger than the others then?
I think so. I think he's 17, maybe.
Right.
This season, the first. No, because. Go on.
I'm just saying, if Gardner is that young, I mean, we've likened Ayres to Hugill in his approach to the game. If there's going to be some compliment to Dean Gardner, I'd want to liken him to Sam Nombe because he's solid, but he's fairly quick, and he's got very good ball control. So, if Ayres is Hugill, Gardner is Nombe, it's like the next generation coming through, if you like, which isn't a bad thing at all, is it?
No. The answer is that I don't know.
Nice.
Google doesn't know how old he is,
right?
Which says to me he's pretty young. Salford reminded me of a classic Carl Robinson team. When things get rough, when things get really, really tough, and you need to stand up, you kind of fall down a little bit. Which is a worry if I was a Salford fan, but that's where, thankfully, none of us are. Make your favourite player, one of your favourite players, Drew Yearwood, as Tom mentioned, with a really, really good ball. And from Dingana, it's an easy finish, but in terms of the pressure that you would be under, imagine yourself as a 17-year-old boy in front of goal to score your first goal for the club you were playing for. The pressure he would be under, and to nail it like he did just shows the kind of the head that he seems to have, must have on his shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's a great ball from Drew Yearwood. I do like him. I thought he did well when he came on. He's a terrier of a player, isn't he? He doesn't have to get stuck in, and he's got some quality about him in terms of his distribution as well. But you can only imagine, can't you, if you've got time to think with the ball at your feet. If I'd got time to think with ball at my feet, it would clear in that stand, no question about it. So great composure, and he's just hit it, hasn't he? It's pretty similar to Dangor, They both just put the boot through it and got it on target, and the keeper wasn't up to either of them. But I do like the look of him. Like Dennis said there, he's got some pace about him. His positioning for the goal, for the ball over the top was really, really good as well. Let's not talk about the defending particularly, which wasn't great. But he's still got to find that space, and he's still got to finish it, and he's done it. So at such a young age, it's the prospects are great, and it's great that the manager is giving these players the time, the game time, and they're paying him. They're repaying him. So the future's starting to look quite bright.
Also good that obviously the seniors have taken to the players as well. These players don't look out of place. They're integrated into the team already, by the looks of it. Which is
it's amazing what happens when you train the next generation with senior team, isn't it? And don't send them off to a gym to work on their own.
Bit passive aggressive, that, Danny.
I know,
right? Let's move on. Tom Kay says the back three that started has absolutely no pace, so they can never start a league game together. Scott Kent says Jack Holmes struggled massively, got ripped to pieces by Cisa. Paula Rhodes says Gardner's goal was spot on. Paul asks, have we heard anything on Duncan Watmore? Absolutely zip. So we'll wait and see on that one. Romov wants to know, Danny, how come you went and said you'd be happy with Ayres up front if we don't get Watmore? You know how Tony is. Last thing we need is him getting idea of not spending any money. That's in reference to something you saw on Radio Sheffield.
I think it's in Tony's head already, if I'm being honest. And the reason I said it was that we've soldiered on as much as we have already to the point where Nombe is going to be back for the first Blackpool game.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think we'll see a Tete. I have a feeling he will be sent back to Cardiff because we have been smart enough to put that in their contracts that it's our choice whether they go back or not, which is very smart. I think I was an article from the Advertiser a few weeks ago. But no, with Watmore, you don't really know what you're getting. Yes, he's been training at Chef Wednesday, and their manager said that he's been training well, which is great. But we don't know that he's not going to get injured within two games of him playing. Plus there's the whole managing him coming back into competitive football side of things, which means he might be 3 weeks off actually playing a significant part in matches. Because it's what the presenter said to me. I forget which one it was. I do apologise. I've had a few drinks since then. And they said, which way do you go with it? Do you actually bring Watmore in as backup so you have an option, or do you soldier on with what you've got? And we've soldiered on enough with what we've got where it's just like, well, Ayres has come into his own recently, so why not? Hugel's a warrior and he'll put his head where it hurts. We've got a midfield that can now score goals clearly with Benson and Gore and the young lads coming through as well. So why not? I would rather play Ayres if Hugel takes a knock again or is tired and needs to come off, because we make do. We make do and soldier on. That's the Rotherham United way. We when our backs to the wall, we still come out swinging, and that's exactly what we've done, and that's what we will do until either players come back or January, where we can actually sign players on loan until the end of the season or pinch someone off somebody else.
We're up to reasonable speed, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've not had anything done for Watmore. Obviously, Twitter was telling us all it was a done deal. In the nose weren't in the know, as it turned out.
No, joking.
It might still happen. Look, it might still happen. If it hasn't happened by now, I'd be surprised. But we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens with Duncan Watmore. Anything else we want to mention, fellows?
I think just on the game as a whole, we won 7-2 away from home. I don't think it was a particularly great performance overall.
No,
I think it was bang average, really. There was some disappointing defending, like we've said. But if we can do that, playing the way that we in the fashion that we played, at some point this season, when we do have a good game, somebody is going to get a proper tonking.
Bigger than 7-2.
Well, yeah,
I kind of agree with Mick though, because 4 of them goals were sort of, do it 20 more times then, and you sort of can't really.
It's just we didn't, particularly in the first half. I don't think we were great at all. Second half, we bossed the game quite a lot more. But I thought first half we looked in danger every time they came forward.
Yes.
So, we're not particularly playing that well at the moment. We're playing well in patches, but not really dominating games. And
we're just ruthlessly efficient, though, aren't we?
Exactly, and that's my point. Once we get a full squad or a fullish squad, and we start to string some decent performances for 90 minutes together, the future looks really, really bright. And I'm saying we didn't have a good game. We didn't play particularly well, and it's a positive.
Yeah.
To me, that's positive because we still don't them 7-2. And you look at the game against Wickham again. First half we didn't play particularly well, but we still managed to grind out a result from the game.
Yeah,
that's been the form of the season really so far. Once we get everybody back, it's looking really, really promising. Really promising.
And I think that makes the run that we're on right now even more remarkable, that we're doing it with an half-cocked squad because there's so many injuries out, and yet we're still unbeaten in the league in 9, which I believe is the second best in England currently in the top 4 tiers. Only Arsenal are in front of us with 10. And we can play bang average, and like I say, Mick Gunn Thompson 1-7-2. If we're firing on all cylinders, we could see a winning margin of 4 or 5. You know,
Arsenal are only in front of us because they played one more game than us.
Yeah,
They played the other night, didn't they? Played last night before Tuesday night.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah, so it's 11 for Arsenal now. Sorry, yeah.
That's how it works. Scott Kent says doing enough to get results without playing well. Just need players back. All this translates to we're going to win league, doesn't it? So let's.
You laughed at me. You laughed at me when I put my pre-season predictions in. I'm telling you.
Okay. Nobody else knows what your pre-season prediction was.
No, they don't. That comment was in purely and simply to you, Matt.
Unnecessary. As Paula points in the comments, the draw is on Saturday at 11:45, part of something called the EFL show, which I didn't know was a thing on Sky Sports. We can get Bolton, Donny, Fleetwood, Harrogate, Huddersfield, Port Vale, or Stock County. It's an open draw, so there's no seeding, so it could be home or away, but it's still a northern. If you're in old money, this is the northern quarter-final, but they now call it the last 16. We will talk about that on Monday because we don't really care how we get to it. We'll get whoever.
For progression's sake, I hope it's Harrogate because I think Harrogate will more be.
You want the lowest team at home.
Donny.
Yeah.
Donny. Yeah. But if we get Stockport away, who cares? We'll go there. We'll get a go, and we'll go from there. I can see one more person to subscribe while we've been live. Starts up to 36. That one person really, really, really wants to see this video from Tom. So thank you very much. Make sure you've subscribed if you haven't done so already. Like I said, we'll be back Monday. Obviously, there's no football this weekend because only Tin Pot teams in the FA Cup second round are playing. So we'll be back on Monday, which will be a preview of next week's game, which will be Blackpool, which is a Wednesday. And we'll hope to get some pre-match press so we get a bit of team news. If you're watching live or post, make sure you've given this video a thumbs up as well, because you've already subscribed. All you can do is give it a thumbs up. And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, 5-star rating if you haven't done so already. We are in your top 4 or 5 podcasts, by the way, for Spotify Wraps, let us know as well, because we want to know.
There you go.
And if you're not giving us 5-star rating, subscribe, follow, whatever it allows you to do. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Tom. We will be back very, very soon. Thank you all for watching. And as always, up with the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel. Vicious, but brilliant. The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United.
Wood's got round the back, and Richard Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favor, drop me off in Rome.